Hello, this is Alfonso Padilla, or most people call me Alfie, and this is my alternate history assignment for this week. I chose to go with would have happened if Charles Babbage's analytical engine actually got finished. And I just got creative with where the funding would be coming from. And what are some of the possibilities if that were to happen. So I'll go ahead and leave it up to the presentation to tell you the rest. Also, I just really wanted to say that this was an awesome assignment because it turns out I'm really into historical fiction, apparently. So, yes, enjoy, and I hope you like it. This is Alfie, and I'm going to go ahead and get started. This is my presentation. I'm calling it a new golden age of computers, and it's what I think would have happened if Charles Babbage's analytical engine had actually gotten made. And we've talked a lot about it. I actually talked a little bit about Ada Lovelace, my last presentation, who was the first. Who was the first computer programmer, and she made that program for Charles Babbage's analytical engine, which is a precursor to the computers that we know now, and a lot of people call it the first computer. But it never got made. It never got finished, and it had an impact on history, but that impact sort of wasn't seen until a few hundred years after it was made. So, um, it's a technological wonder, and I can't help when I was doing all this research, I couldn't help but wonder what would have happened had they had the funding to complete the project, which was really one of the biggest problems, was that the British government pulled the funding. So, in thinking where would they get the funding, I found out that around the same time that uh, Ada Lovelace made the program for the analytical engine, the gold rush happened in California. So you have a bunch of people, I don't know the numbers, maybe thousands though, of people rushing to California to try to start a new life and achieve their dreams and either find gold or just be a part of a new bursting economy and a community and sort of its own new culture out there in the American West. And what was happening in Europe around the same time was a lot of revolts. You saw things, Ireland was having a big dispute with Britain, which is actually where Charles Babbage and Ada Lovelace are from. So maybe they had some distaste for what was going on. Maybe there was some unrest in Europe, and maybe they saw what was happening in America and saw an opportunity to get that funding because, after all, it's gold. Where there's gold, there's money. And so my thought was that Ada Lovelace and Charles Babbage go to California. They find a company to fund their projects. Maybe that company does a lot of calculations, which is what the analytical engine was made for. Complex calculations, so maybe surveying or keeping track of where there's gold, or who knows. With all, somebody's got to manage that money. Maybe one of the banks or financial companies sees a reason to fund Charles Babbage and Ada Lovelace. And what was also happening was the telegraph was starting to take over and was becoming the big way that we communicate. What if Ada Lovelace made a program for that analytical engine, worked with Charles Babbage, and hooked it up to a telegraph machine? Then we would be sending data straight from a computer straight to the other side of the country, and that would be the first kind of internet. And imagine if we had done that way back a few hundred years ago, had a sharing of information like that across the country, to share data that way, and had these kind of computers that early. I mean, this is only speculation, but I'm just gonna say Battlestar Galactica would probably be real. No, but that's basically my reimagined future. That Charles Babbage and Ada Lovelace would find a way to connect the telegraph and the analytical engine using funds from what was happening in history and what was happening around them, and that would be their motivation. So yeah, I'd love to hear what you think about it. Thanks for listening. Have a good one.